the director, Sean Grady. Please give it up. A big Triumph Dark welcome to introduce his short, Monster Island. Give it up for Sean.
Can anybody hear me?
Coming in the light.
Is it on?
I think so.
Am I on?
There we go.
That's good. Actually, there was a mistake tonight. I was supposed to be here to talk to everybody about Scientology. I don't know if that's still doable. Monster Island's a short that I did. My producing partner, Zane, could not be here tonight. He's working. He's making body parts for a TV show. So, pretty good excuse, I thought, for not being here tonight.
And not just any TV show, which one?
It's Hannibal.
Hannibal, fancy Hannibal?
I got up the other day and came downstairs, and on the kitchen table was the scripts for season 3. So I could spoil everything right now and get sued, or I could just keep my mouth shut.
Maybe at the pub if people buy your drinks tonight.
Yes.
There we go. It always works.
Time travel every episode. Time travel. They go back to the asylum. So we shot Monster Island off and on over 2 years, which is kind of excessive for a 15-minute film, but it was all funded by myself while I was a security guard at a newspaper in Halifax, and thanks. Glad somebody remembers. And it took a long time because we'd have the money to shoot the actor scenes, or we'd have the money to build all the creature stuff and then make the creature scenes, but we didn't have the money to shoot everything back to back, so it ended up taking a much longer time than I thought to make it. But hopefully it's cohesive because it was shot over 2 years, and I don't really want to say too much about it because you haven't seen it yet, so I can't really discuss it in depth, but I'm very, very happy to be here. And it's very exciting to be playing in a horror movie festival as opposed to something with documentaries about wrestling and, like you get some of the other festivals it's played at have been, the audiences I don't think were really digging it too much because they went to see documentaries about fishing. And,
I think you'll get the right reaction.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys like decapitations, you're in for a good time.
Decapitation fans?
Bodily violence, all good. So, really happy to be here, and really happy to see Refuge as well. I think it's going to be great, and I really appreciate everybody coming out.
And we'll see you at the pub after dark later on?
I'm an alcoholic, so yes.
Absolutely. Cheers, Sean. Thanks. Monster Island. Sean Grady. So our feature film tonight, there's lots of films at the festival this year I think have tons of buzz, like Dead Snow 2. Anyone enjoy that? The Babadook coming up, Housebound. But this is one of the more indie gems at the festival, so it's always nice to have a film that's a little bit quieter and a bit gentler paced, but I think will really get to you. Obviously the end of the world has happened, and it's nice to see different filmmakers tackle it in different ways, and this film definitely has its own grittiness and its own heart. Please give it up for the director who has come here from the USA. A warm Triumph Dark welcome for Andrew Robertson to introduce Refuge.
Thank you, Adam. Oh my gosh, wow. So, for me, like post-apocalyptic is kind of a feeling, and what I love about it is that it kind of feels like it's the new sort of the neo-Western, in that we're at the stage where we know what the rules are going into it, and so you can put people in that situation, and then you can just sort of see how, get to know the characters, and what we really wanted to do with this film is make a kind of a quiet post-apocalyptic film that showed maybe a more realistic idea of what it would be like when everything falls apart. Like you just get together with the people that are close to you and your family, and you're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next. So it's a small film, and with like small little indies, you need advocates and you need support, and that goes from the very beginning of the process of writing your script all the way to where we are today. And that you guys are even here to watch it means so much, and it's I think a crucial part of hopefully helping to find this a home and getting it to the next step. And from my perspective, Adam is like the patron saint of independent film, and I'm so thankful to you for being a champion for this film. So I hope you like it. And one more thing, there's somebody here I wanted to introduce. Is Eva here? Could you come up here, Eva, really quickly? Yeah.
We have one of the stars of the film, Eva. Give it up.
Eva, she plays Birdie in the film, and she lives in New York, and she came here because she wants to tell you something.
Hi, I'm Eva. I play Grady in the mansion, or Refuge, and I am too young to watch the movie, but I'll be back here for the Q&A, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks.
Cheers. We'll see you for the Q&A. It's nice to see young audience members complying with our 18+ requirements, so the Ontario government doesn't shut down Toronto After Dark. And please welcome to the stage, writer director Andrew Robertson. Come on up, Andrew.
Thanks.
And you've got some guests with you?
Yes, the producer and my wife, Lily Canto. Please come on
So
up.
give it up for producer, co-writer Lily.
And then you met her earlier, Eva Grace Kellner.
And one of the stars of the film,
Yeah.
young
She played Birdie.
Ava.
There's any
Give it up for Ava.
confusion. She was the little girl.
So I'm gonna ask a couple of questions first, and then we'll throw it up to you guys. I guess first up, what was the inspiration for doing this film, this particular story? Obviously, there's a lot of post-apocalyptic genre films out there, and you want to talk about like what was your influences and the way that you particularly crafted it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, post-apocalyptic, like I said in the opener, it's like it's a kind of a new genre, and it's very much, in my feeling, like a Western of the modern age. And what I mean by that is basically, it's like when you see a Western, you know the rules and you go with it. And basically, it's like you're taking modern people and you're putting them in a situation without any rules and any laws, and you're just like trying to see how they treat each other. So, and I think, obviously we have a lot of anxiety about our future as a species. If when you watch the news, it's sort of like pick your extinction. It's like, is it going to be a sickness? Is it going to be an asteroid? Is it going to be? There's so many things that we have anxiety about. That it's just a compelling genre, and it's a fun genre to play with too. And so. But more specifically, we're from the South, and in the South, over the last few years, when we go down to Georgia, we've noticed like a ton of abandoned homes and abandoned neighborhoods, and especially post-recession, like decay. And so I think over the last few years, going on trips down south, we've sort of been thinking, this is interesting. We have all these sets right here. Let's try and make a movie. So.
And tying in with that, do you want to talk about what it was like to as a producer, to put this together in obviously a lot of location shooting, like outdoors as well?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew and I have worked together for a while, and we've always talked about making a film together. So, like you said, we were going to Georgia all the time, and we finally decided to shoot this movie there. And I mean, this movie was shot for very little money. To give you an idea of our budget, our parents were part of the crew, which we were very lucky to have. And, it was truly independent filmmaking in every way, shape, and form. So we literally would ask/beg people. We went to the local gas station and asked if anybody had a truck we could use. And it was good because it was a very small crew, and we were all excited about the project, and it was fun. And so it was kind of just like a little group of us running around Georgia and hanging out in the woods and making this movie. So we were very fortunate to have these amazing actors that we actually brought down from New York to Georgia, and we couldn't afford to give them each a hotel room, which is standard, so we put them all in a house that we'd done like a trade with, and they lived together as a family. So for a month they lived together, so they really kind of were a family. So it all worked out.
So talking about guerrilla filmmaking, can I ask a question to Ava? So you've, I believe, according to IMDb, you've worked on Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
Any fans of Boardwalk Empire? Yeah. So this must have been very different working on a guerrilla shoot film. How does this compare to like working on a, I guess, more of a Hollywood type or big budget TV series?
Well, this was my first film, and it was a different experience because it seems different because when on Boardwalk Empire I'd already done stuff before, and it seemed like it was easier. But then when I was on this set, it was my first movie, so it just seemed different because I never acted like this before. And it was different because it seemed like everyone, it was a smaller set, and it seemed like we were all together, and that's how I got to know people better. But on Boardwalk Empire, I didn't really get to know people as much.
Right. So there is, I guess, there's an advantage to being on a really cozy crew. You guys really bond together. I think that really shows in the film as well. Let's open it up to the floor. If anybody has some questions, do you want to have some hands?
I'm glad you survived. I'm glad to say that.
Okay. We got some hands. Anyone want to raise a hand over there? Go.
You shot in abandoned houses. How did you get permission to shoot in them? Do you talk to the banks or the former owners, or?
We took a lot of. Oh, so he was wondering how we got permission to shoot in the houses. In a lot of the scenarios in Georgia and the South, people have these huge properties, and there was a woman who had this, like, she owned these huge woods, and we'd done some kind of, I think Andrew made a commercial for her in exchange for letting us use them, and she had like abandoned barns, abandoned properties, and she was like, I don't care where you shoot, just do it at your own risk. So it was like we scouted, and do you want to say something?
Oh yeah, there's, Atlanta's like the film community is really blowing up. So one of the crew members that we had working with us was the guy who did the audio for it. This really sweet guy. He lives in like rural Georgia, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to go shoot in this house like that we know of?" We were like, "Yeah, definitely." And so we went to this house, and it was a house that this guy had died in like 9 years ago. But no one had been in the house. Like, the body wasn't there, but like no one had been in, and no one had changed anything. So like the first raid that the dad, Jack, goes in was a real house. It was filled with like what was in the refrigerator was like had been there for 9 years. All of his pictures. It was like really going to the house, haunted house. So it was, yeah, like things like that. Things like that you probably only get if you have no money and you're just like, what have you got? Like asking your friends, and they're just like, well, I know this place. So that was kind of how it worked.
We got some more questions. Do you want to just raise your hand, make some noise?
Where are you from?
Actually,
What part of-
okay,
what
we'll
part
go
of the
there.
States?
Georgia.
You're all both of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And down here.
The cinematography really makes the mood of the film, I think, because everyone's got to be in fear of their lives all the time, right? So you've got this kind of grainy, kind of washed out cinematography. Can you tell us about the camera work?
Yeah, the camera, like the mood being set by the cinematography. Yeah, I mean, we have this great cinematographer, and his name is Sung Ray Cho. He's worked on a lot of really big movies, but was like an assistant camera. And from what I know about the industry, it's like, once you find like get your foothold in somewhere, it's kind of hard to move up or move down, and you sort of have to make a name for yourself. So he was like, he wanted to make a feature, and he was like, and he liked our story, and we became friends, and he liked our script, so he was like, yes, I will do this, and I will do this for very little money, let's go do it. And so we had the benefit of all of his experience working, and so yeah, I mean, he was fantastic.
But can you talk about where the story itself came from and your choices with the plot and the characters? Because I thought those were really great. I just want to know, the inspiration behind those.
Thanks. Like kind of like I said in the beginning, I feel like mood and the post-apocalyptic feeling is what I wanted to do, and obviously, like, you don't have any money, you have limits to like how crazy you can get, so it forces you to go to a very personal space. And so the idea was to find some really good people and try to like explore what it would really be like in that sort of a world. And as far as characters are concerned, you know, there's certain archetypes that I love. Like I really love the heroic sort of Harrison Ford type of dad who's just, you know, he's trying to scrap together, you know, some sense of control the best he can, and you know, up against all sorts of obstacles, and you know, he's vulnerable. You know, I wanted to really show that, and you know, and then with the outsider coming in, you know, I think exploring sort of like what comes to mind to me is like a Russell Crowe, like, I'm done killing, you know, I'm going down the straight path now. Like that sort of archetype also appeals to me, you know, because, you know, just we're complicated as people, and how we react in situations that are tense, like I imagine the world ending would be, is just it's a good space to sort of explore the way people would be with each other, not just in like the sociopathic sense, but just in like the personal space of being together, finding a routine, trying to establish some sense of normalcy.
You talked about working on obviously a guerrilla budget and schedule. I'm wondering if you guys, maybe Lily can come in here, talk about, you know, when you have constraints, were there some creative shortcuts you took that you think actually improved the film versus if you'd had a lot of money, you know?
Totally. And we always say, like, if we had more money, we would have spent it. And it's amazing how far begging can take you. And also, like, there's so many people, like Andrew said earlier about Adam, and so many people that are artists or that just truly love film and that want to be involved. I think that was the biggest surprise that we encountered, was people that were eager to help. And in terms of budget, like, if we had had a lot of money, we would have paid it. And for us, it was like, we wanted to pay all the actors and, of course, everyone working on the film as much as we possibly could, but also, you know, hope that they believed in the project as much as we did. So, yeah, we did trades like crazy. I mean, we were like, here's what we can do. Which of these things do you want? Like, Andrew can edit. He made some commercials. Like, the house we rented for the actors, as we were begging this woman, she, you know, revealed to us that she had some wedding business she was starting up, and we were like, we can make you this amazing video for that. And she's like, ooh, okay. So, like, while we were in pre-production, Andrew was editing a wedding video.
So I guess a bit like the post-apocalyptic world, you learned how to barter, right?
Just do what you gotta do. You can't be afraid to do anything. You're just like, we wanted to make the movie so badly, and we really loved the project, and we were so excited about it, and we were basically like, you know, we weren't giving up. So
I want to ask you a question to Ava before we go back to the audience. So Ava, obviously, this was a very grim kind of storyline, very dark, and in some ways a little depressing. Was there any moments of light or humor or fun that you remember from working on the shoot?
Well, in between, like, we always laughed and joked around, so that's when we had our humor for on set.
Okay, so you had some relief from the world around you.
Yeah.
That's good. We've got some more questions. Anybody want to raise a hand and make some noise in the back? Just shout it out.
How cold was it during the shoot?
Oh, how cold was it during the shoot?
You want to answer that?
Sure. It wasn't that cold. It was November.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was November, so we filmed in a house, but it was cold sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Georgia never really gets cold. In fact, I had to buy a scarf when I got here because I didn't quite realize.
Welcome to Canada. We got some more from the audience. Anybody want?
What's your next project?
Oh, next project?
Yeah, we have an occult thriller that's sort of set in India and also in America. It's like hard-boiled, a lot more action, enough of the slow burn. So I hope you come to that one too. It's going to be, I mean, when you're making a movie is like, especially a first film, it's like you just don't know. You don't know how to do it. I mean, you may have a sense for what you're doing in a way, but getting through the entire process and then showing it, it's like you really learn like about pacing, about keeping things, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it'll be good. And then we have a couple horror comedies too that are in the works. So
you're going to lighten the mood with your next films. We've got time for one more question from the audience. Anybody have a burning? How long did it take you to make the film?
The initial shoot was about 21 days, and then the editorial process was like forever, because you make a one cut, then you go back, then you make another, and it just goes on, and, you know, so, but, thanks.
I've got to ask you before we wrap up though, the music. Did you guys enjoy that beautiful score? Do you want to tell us about the music?
Yeah, there's this amazing group, and they're this band. They're from Sweden. They're called Carbon-Based Lifeforms, and they're like huge in Europe. They're really big in Europe, and they're like it's like ambient electronic, and I personally like that music, and it takes me to a spacey place. And we just sent them an email. We're like, hey, any interest? And they were like, let me see a screener. And we sent them a screener. They were like, cool. And I was like, what? That's crazy. So they said they would do it, and that was great. Yeah.
I actually went to their website and bought the soundtrack and listened to it every week. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that's great.
So
Thanks.
support the
Thanks
artists.
a lot. Yeah.
Give it up for Andrew and his team from Refuge. We'll see you at the pub.
And everyone that says the obligatory, please, maybe send a tweet or something, that sort of thing, because that helps with if this is going to go anywhere. Just to have that in the Google Analytics was nice. So thanks so much, really. Thank
Cheers,
you,
everyone. We'll see you for the next film.
Welcome to the 9th Annual Toronto After Dark Film Festival. For those who don't know me, my name is Christian Burgess. I'm one of the programmers.
Hot boy!
I got dressed up. It's a special night. Anyway, we've got a few thank yous to get out of the way. First and foremost, a huge appreciation and love out to our major sponsors, Anchor Bay Entertainment Canada. Give it up. Reward. Space. Keep going. Our wonderful venue partner, Cineplex. Our terrific and dedicated volunteer staff. And the Toronto After Dark staff, our technical team, wonderful folks. Okay, coming up tomorrow, we have a sold-out showing of The Town That Dreaded Sundown and Why Horror. Both are sold out. But those who've got into some of the rush lines, there will be rush tickets available tomorrow. And coming up on Friday, those who actually purchased a ticket to the Babadook early, actually we sold this out in one day, it was actually incredible. We just announced the second screening at 11:45, I believe it is, on Friday. And we're getting close to half sold, so get a ticket because they will sell out. And it's one of the best genre horror films I've seen in a feature film movie I've seen in a long time. Anyway, I'm a little nervous, so. On to the feature film. This is the Canadian premiere of Wyrmwood. So this is a really special time for me. I've been waiting 2 years to do this, so it's been a long time coming. But as usual, we always screen a Canadian short film in front of our feature, and today we have our filmmakers here with the movie Lazy Boys. Let me introduce Ryan Coopersmith and Charles Muzard. Come on up, you guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Say a few words. Say hello. This is for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hi, guys.
Hey guys, this is by far the coolest moment of our young filmmaking careers. You're at Bank Scotia tonight in this sold-out crowd. This is incredible. Thank you so much for coming out. Quick little bit about us, I guess, before we screen this little film we made. We're part of a comedy group called Booyah Pictures. We're on YouTube. We've been doing comedy shorts over the last few years, and this was kind of like a bigger project. We tried to do something that felt more like a movie, and we pretty much made it for like a crowd like this, and we really hope you like it. And here's Charles with some final words.
I just was going to say we made it with our friends that are right here, Ryan Friesen and Harris Ellison, our producers. So yeah, that's about it. We're so lucky you guys, yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. Welcome. All right, I've got some friends with theatrics here. Come on up here, guys. Give it up for these guys. They've been here all week, dressing up various nights. All right. Wyrmwood, tonight's feature presentation. This is a, wow, how do I even describe this film? I actually kind of stumbled upon this on YouTube about 2 years ago. They had this short film of the same name, and had this really weird like didgeridoo music score, like this. And it's kind of really hypnotic, kind of like, and I've been badgering these guys for 2 years, like, what's going on with this film? What's going on with this film? Is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Fast forward into this year, still not done, still not done. This is a true test, a true endurance test of how to make an independent film. It took them years to make this film. And they just finally finished it about 2-3 months ago, and they had the world premiere at Fantastic Fest in Texas about a month ago. So now they're on their festival route, and hopefully they will get picked up for distribution soon. Because it is a fantastic film, it's a blast, it's a total blast, you're gonna love it. And I want you to tell me that you love it. I want you to go on Twitter and tell me that you love it. I don't wanna hear any hatred for this movie, but it's good. Because I guarantee you're gonna have a blast, trust me. I'm so glad that you're here. Anyway, because this is the Canadian premiere, I want to do something special, because the filmmakers unfortunately could not be here. They're all the way in Australia, and they've been doing the festival route, and they're actually on vacation finally after a long time. So I want a picture with all you guys here, because this is the first time this film is being seen in Canada. So Danielle, are you already here? Great. Come on in. So everybody like cheer, smile, give it up. Give it up. This is for Kiah and Tristan Roache-Turner. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, we're going to do some video even. Let's go. How pumped are you? Let's go. Thank you, that's great. All right, give it up to the theatrics. You guys can kill me in a minute. All right, so anyway, thank you so much for coming. Please turn off all your cell phones, your iPads, whatnot. We want total silence because this thing needs your attention because you're gonna love it. It's a blast. Thank you so much. Enjoy the movie.